Welcome to our first part of 6 in our series about efficiency. So this is built around efficiency for small businesses, and it's one of the key things that businesses have been telling us that they want to improve. Efficiency, productivity and more profit. Really with efficiency, Andy, what we're covering off on part 1, I think everyone's got to start, which is mindset, because if you don't have the right mindset to become efficient, you're really starting at the wrong point, aren't you?
Sure, and there's 2 aspects to it, and what we determine as a growth or a fixed mindset is one way of simplifying it, and how we tackle that really will determine the outcome of your business, because it's an essential core part of how one runs a business, runs one's life, and moves going forward. So without understanding that, it's actually slows people's processes down.
Definitely. So, I mean, when you say fixed mindset and growth mindset, because they're both completely different, and what are some examples that you might have that people watching might go, oh, okay, hang on, maybe I am fixed, or fantastic, I'm in the right position, I'm in a growth mindset?
Okay, so an example of a growth mindset is someone being able to take a risk and accept challenges and learning from those challenges, because risk is not always the downside. A fixed mindset may be someone who's resilient to change, who doesn't learn from experiences, and is not used to opening up their mind to certain new processes, for example.
And some examples of that might be like, oh, I don't need to change, or I know it all, or we're already a good business, or we're already strong, or my team are wrong and I'm right. Like, all of that is sort of the characteristics of a fixed mindset, and that's one of the first things you need to look at shifting, because failure is okay. Failure, if you learn quickly and change quickly, is fine. And being open to changing as the world is changing at a much quicker
and understanding
pace.
your own profile as a person, where your strengths and weaknesses are. As you know, I'm quite big on that, Adam. To understand that, you can, once you know yourself, you understand your own weaknesses, and by understanding your own weaknesses, you can actually develop further. So it's not a problem to have a challenge, but how you overcome that is part of the process.
And Andy, I think the first thing is you've got to probably go internal first before you're looking at changing the workforce, because there's no point in telling everyone that you've got to change and I don't need to change, because that's a fixed mindset. So what are some of the things you would do after you've changed and you're ready for this change? How do you sort of go about implementing that so it's a cultural shift within your firm? Because that's a significant win if you can get your cultural shift within your business, isn't it?
Well, leadership is one thing. So I said an example of the right kind of culture, and doing the things that need to be done and show an example. And sporting clubs try and do those kind of things by setting the right example to the community and to their own internal teams. That's a good example. And that's where you generally start, because people would like assistance in how they're personally managed, but to do that, you've got to make sure that you set a good example.
Yeah, and look, definitely don't be mistaken, a cultural shift is very much a direct activity to change and change your workforce. So you really need to define what culture you want and where you're going to go. Because if you just go, I'm going to change culture, and you don't know where you're going, it's going to be a mess, and no one's got some clarity or focus about where they're going to go, are they?
So a little bit of this is process and how we do it. To some degree, the vision is important to start where we want to head to first, and this just helps you. Our processes here that we'll go through will help you put that vision into practice to where you want to end up.
Yeah, and in our next 6 parts, the reason why you've got to get your mindset right and into growth, because if we're delivering this content and we're asking people to review, what they do, or to delegate, or to leverage technology, if you're not open to it, if you're not open to testing and failing and learning and quickly testing again until you get it right, you're just going to fail, or you're going to be a closed door to the rest of the development opportunities from an efficiency gain, aren't you?
Absolutely. I mean, I always use the Michael Jordan aspect of he's missed thousands of shots when he was playing in his NBA career. He's missed thousands, but he was so successful, but he always counted the thousands he missed, because that's a learning experience. So It was never taken as a failure.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that's probably enough to cover off now. We're going to have some tools, and we'll push out some information about fixed versus growth mindset, because I think it's really valuable. But we're going to hold this workshop. This will be one of the topics we're going to cover off in the workshop in November. If you are interested, come along. It's a free event, because we just want to help our businesses grow in this environment and give them valuable content and information. So, mate, thanks for that. It's been great. Thank you very much, and make sure you register below as your expression of interest for the event coming up. Thank you.